Alright everybody, it's time for another top 10 video. I already did a top 10 horror sequels, so I'll leave a card. Check that out for my more favorite horror sequels. These are other ones I wanted to talk about because they don't get talked about enough. But the main horror sequels that I really love are in the other video. These are another 10, 12 movies that I think are just as good, if not better, than the original that I want to talk about. So let's kick it off with my two honorable mentions. And this is going to blow your mind that's on this list. Jack Frost 2. It's a very silly movie. Yes, it's dumb, but it's entertaining. It's a dumb, entertaining movie. It's the definition of a cheesy, low-budget B horror movie. A killer snowman throwing snowballs that take people's arms off, and bananas are his weakness or some shit. I have a review on this movie and most of these films I'm going to talk about, so if you're curious on my full thoughts on these, just type it in the search bar. I'm sure you'll find it. So, Jack Frost 2, that's my honorable mention. I think it's better than the first one. Get at me. Now, my next honorable mention and final one will be Chrome Skull, Laid to Rest 2. We're supposed to get a third one. There's like a campaign for it for the last year or two. Not sure if we'll ever get it. But the first one I thought was dreadful. The only thing that was good about it was the gore, the kills, the look of the killer. Same thing here, but the characters and the writing isn't as weak as it was in the first one. So therefore, it's better than that one, and that's why it's an honorable mention. Great gore, cool-looking killer, and that's about it. So now let's get into the top 10. Number 10 is a sequel in a franchise that I reviewed recently. I'm not a huge fan of because I find all of them to be confusing and convoluted as hell, and that is Phantasm 2. I think this is slightly better than the original. It ups the fun, like most sequels. You got Reggie, who becomes the main character, really. In the first one, he was just an ice cream truck driver. Didn't have a whole lot of screen time. In this one, they up that. They give him a quadruple barrel shotgun. The little people, the whatever you call them. I think, did they give them a name? I forget. But they got like faces now, and they have awesome special effects in this movie by Nicotero before K&B, before they became K&B, where you got the tall man like melting towards the end. There's some cool effects here, that thing that comes out of the girl's back, some cool visuals here and there in the movie. It's pretty fun, probably the best in the franchise. I did a ranking, and I think I put this one at number 1, and there's a reason for that, because it's better than the original, in my opinion.
It's only a dream.
It's a dream. No, it's not.
Moving on to my number 9. Again, a movie I've only seen once, and the next movie after this, Paranormal Activity 3. I thought this one just did the whole paranormal, like, surveillance footage scares better. Like, the whole, like, moving camera, that addition to the franchise where it goes, like, here, and you're, like, expecting a scare, and then there's nothing, and then it goes over here, there's nothing, and then it goes here, then there's, like, a ghost just sitting there, and the blanket just falls down. That scene was eerie. Like, there's way better scares in here, like a little girl's getting attacked and pulled by their hair. Just, we go to the paranormal movies for the scares, and I thought that the scares in this one were way more effective than the first one, so that's why it's on this list as my number 8 or 9? 9. So yeah, Paranormal Activity 3. The marked ones is a good one too. I like that sequel. Number 8 will be The Dentist 2. There's only 2 of these movies, 1 and 2, and these are Brian Yuzna films, and so you can expect a lot of practical effects, and there's never been a movie that made me wince more and look away than The Dentist 1 and 2. There's something about teeth getting destroyed. It's like nails on a chalkboard. It just hurts to look at. You know, it's like visually nails on a chalkboard. Like, that hurts your ears looking at teeth getting destroyed, teeth pulled out, like the nerves getting couldn't look. Just could not look. This movie disturbed me. Like, I had to go to a dentist shortly after watching this movie, and I was disturbed. It was effective. So, a damn good sequel, and just very brutal. So, check out The Dentist 1 and 2. The second one, I think, is a little bit better. So, number 7 will be Leprechaun 3, not Returns. Leprechaun 3, it has the best characters. They're way more memorable than any of the other characters in this franchise. They're just so wacky. They're over the top. You got Caroline Williams in here, who gets real big and blows up. Warwick Davis at his best as the Leprechaun. if Warwick Davis was in Leprechaun Returns, that would probably be right here instead. But those characters also sucked in that movie. These are fun characters, fun kills. Warwick Davis playing the Leprechaun, he's just as great as he's always been. If not, this is like the best Leprechaun. I think this is the one where he rhymes the most, which I like that side of the Leprechaun's character. I like that he rhymes a lot. They kind of got rid of that as the franchise went along. Like by 4 and 5, he just kind of stopped, which was a shame. I love the setting in Vegas, the tricks that he's pulling on people, sawing the guy in half, and then revealing that he murdered him actually in front of the crowd, and they all start panicking. Just really funny and over the top. It's wacky. So that's why it's my number 7. Number 6 is a movie that I just saw for the first time this year, and that is Slumber Party Massacre 2. Now, this one's about even with the first one. There's elements that I prefer in the first one, and there's elements that I like in this one. This one is definitely the more wacky sequel. It's got a supernatural killer. It has shit to do with the first one, so why call it 2? Call it something else. Call it the Guitar Triller Killer or whatever. It doesn't need to be a sequel, but this movie, again, a reoccurring theme for my ranking is they're all fun. They're way more fun than the original. They take things to the nth degree. They up the comedy, they up the jokes, they up the wildness, and it ups the rewatchability. This one isn't as slow as the first one. It's not as serious and weird with its tone. This one knows what it is. The characters are wacky. You got zits that get bigger and bigger and pop. It's just a fun movie. That third act especially, that's the best part of the movie. It's the last like 20 minutes. Number 5. This is a movie, again, that I have only seen once, and that is The Devil's Rejects. Now, this is supposed to be a sequel to House of a Thousand Corpses, right? I mean, the characters are the same, but kind of different. Like, what's her name? The chick? See, I'm not very familiar with the franchise, but the main girl, Sherry Moon Zombie, her character acts a little different than she did in the first one. And the first one, I don't know, I just could not get through it. Like, the first one, House of a Thousand Corpses, it was one of those movies where I kept checking the time bar. Like, how far am I into this? Holy shit, there's another hour left? I thought the movie was over 2 hours long, but it's not. It's not even close. This movie flew by better. It's way better to me. I love the grittiness, the nastiness of it. Bill Moseley, his character, very fun, very intimidating, just a mean, cold-hearted motherfucker, and just a cool ending, too. I love, what's his name, William Forsythe. I'm going to skull fuck the shit out of you guy from Halloween. I love his character in this movie. He's the best part, probably, just his character. I love his revenge plot and how he's like, duct taping them to the seats, and you're just actually rooting for him, like, yeah, get them. And then, unfortunately, things take a turn for the worse for him. But just a fun, nasty, brutal slasher road trip movie. So check it out if you haven't. It's most people's favorite Rob Zombie movie that I heard. Am I wrong on that? I think it's most people's favorite. Number 4, I think we're at. Number 4 is VHS Part 2. This is a horror anthology. It's found footage, so that might turn some of you off, but it is a damn good found footage movie. I'm not crazy about the last story, the Slumber Party alien abduction. That was from the director of Hobo with a Shotgun, which I love that movie, but did not love that sequence, that whole last story. But the Gareth Evans, if that's his name, the guy who directed the Raid 1 and 2, his story in this movie is so out there. It is so bloody and gory and very eerie. The whole like demon thing coming out of that chick's stomach, people just shooting their own heads off. It is so wild. It's just a jaw-dropping ending to that movie. Just like, what the fuck? Anything can happen. It's unpredictable. And the other stories with the whole like eyeball thing, it's a bit generic. We've seen that before. It's been done before. The bad side effects, oh, he can see ghosts now, but it's still fun. Still got some cool scares in it. The zombie one, very gory, very gruesome, and just some cool stuff that they pulled off with the whole POV, like GoPro cam, like the guy getting ran over, how they did that, like great stuff. So great stories. Only one of them's weak. One's okay. 2 of them are great. So overall, a good sequel. Better than the original, in my opinion. Number 3, we'll go to CHUD 2, Bud the Chud. Now, this has nothing to do with the original CHUD. There's not even CHUD monsters that look anything like the CHUD monsters in the first one. Not at all. In fact, I heard that this movie was written to be a sequel to Return of the Living Dead, but it just got turned into a Bud the CHUD Part 2 movie. And it is just so wacky. It's so hilarious. It knows what it is. It doesn't try to be anything else. The characters, they are just so fun. You got the guy Robert Vaughn from Basketball, one of my favorite comedies of all time. You got I'm blanking on the actor's name, but he was in Child's Play 2. He was in TerrorVision. He plays a whole different character in this movie than you would expect. I saw him in Child's Play 2, so that was always that actor to me. And then I see him in TerrorVision, whole different character. This movie, just like kind of like TerrorVision, except dead. Just a completely wacky, zany character. He's the CHUD. He's Bud the CHUD. And just his facial expressions, they're hysterical to me. It is just a fun movie. Just saw it recently for the first time. I'm glad so that I could put it on this list. It is a damn good, entertaining, cheesy ass flick. Check it out. It's on Amazon right now, I think. Or no, Tubi. It's on Tubi. You can watch it for free. Number 2. This might shock some of you because this is a part of a franchise that a lot of people do not like. And it's a sequel that people who do like the franchise will say is not the best. And that is Saw 3. Everyone who's a Saw fanatic will tell you that the first one's the best, or 2's the best, or maybe 6. No one says 3. Not that I know. But me, for some reason, the last time I watched it, when I went through my review series, I loved the third one the most. I love that I had the balls to kill John Kramer. Spoiler. This whole thing's a spoiler. I hope you know that. I hope you've seen it by now. Come on. I love that they had the balls to just kill him off. Like, let's end this. Let's hand the keys to Marcus Dunstan and Patrick Mullen. They can figure out what to do from here. They kill off John Kramer. Great ending. And they kill Amanda too. So it's like, shit, who's going to be the killer in the next movie? And the traps are the best. I feel like this one set the template for what the franchise would be from here. Because the first two, they weren't as elaborate as this one. This one really took it to the next level. The rack, twisting the guy's head around, just all that stuff. This one was the brutal one. The first two were brutal, but this one took it to the next level. And then every movie after this tried to like one-up it and made it a little bit more unbelievable and less grounded. This is probably the last grounded Saw movie. I mean, some people would argue that the whole thing's grounded, but come on, how much did John Kramer plan? I mean, I'm not going to get into it here, the convoluted story, like how John Kramer planned all that, like whatever. But if this was the ending of the Saw trilogy, I would be fine with it. This is a great ending to that trilogy, and it's my favorite Saw movie, and it's the only Saw movie with nudity. So there's that fact. Number 1. Now, oddly enough, this is not one that I think is way better than the original. I think it's just as good. I kind of go back and forth, but this is just a movie that I've seen a lot, and it's the most rewatchable movie. It's the most entertaining. I have a blast every time I watch it, and that is Sleepaway Camp 2. And I will say Sleepaway Camp 3 as well, because I think it's just as good as Part 2. Sometimes I think 3 is better than 2. Call me crazy, but I think you're crazy. It's almost like when I hear people say Child's Play 3 is bad. You know, like people love Child's Play 2, but then they'll be like, well, 3 is shit. Or it's too like number 2, and therefore I don't like it. I'll just watch 2. I love Child's Play 3, and I love Sleepaway Camp 3 too. Like, it's the same thing to me. It's like, if you love 2, I think you should love 3. It's almost the same thing. It's just Angela's no longer the counselor. She's one of the, campers. That's like the little change there. But same formula, same story, same pace, just kill after kill after kill. Fun kills in 3 as well. This is me just defending 3 at this point instead of talking about 2. But yeah, I love 3 as well. I don't get the hate. I think 2 and 3 are even. So, but yeah, Sleepaway Camp 2, just a fun sequel. It's almost like a different universe. Like, this doesn't seem like the Angela that we know from the first one, who's very quiet. This is a very talkative Angela who has officially had a sex change, and she just has all these funny little one-liners, and just the way she kills people, it's very unrealistic. Like, I love that when she burns a girl, like, she's just a charred skeleton by the end of it. One of the grossest kills of all time is in this movie, and that's the porta potty kill. Oh, that would just be awful. So yeah, just great kills, very fun, tons of gratuitous nudity, and it's just a very fun flick. Just, I can't say it enough. All these movies, for the most part, are fun, and that's why they made my top 10. I like a fun horror movie that just goes for it. And Sleepaway Camp 2, it knows what it is. It's even meta. They have like a Freddy mask, or not a Freddy mask. They got, yeah, well, the guy's wearing Freddy makeup, and then he has the claw, and then the other guy's wearing a hockey mask, and then Angela's like Leatherface, she's wearing the face, she has a chainsaw. So it's very meta at the time. This is way before Scream.
Say no to drugs.
It's a fantastic slasher movie, and that's my list right there. That's my top 10. Again, for horror sequels, check out my other video. Like I said, I made another top 10 with my more favorite sequels in that list. And let me know what your list is in the comments below. Let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.